So what's going on, everyone? We got a discussion today that we're going to talk about regarding Trump and Jerome Powell. Now, there's a couple of comments here from this Reddit post that people brought up about Trump. And whether which side of the fence you're on, I could care less. We're simply basing this discussion off of the results that Jerome Powell has done versus the results that Trump has done. And we're going to see which one is best for the economy or the dollar. So the title of the post reads, President Donald Trump says Fed Chair Powell should cut interest rates and stop playing politics. This was an article that was posted from CNBC. Playing politics. Wow. Is Jerome Powell really playing politics? This man has been in his position for a substantial amount of time. And not once have you guys seen any posts, any tweets, any articles that would give you such an idea that this man is playing politics. Maybe that is just a projection from Trump of playing politics. Let's look at some of these comments, though. This is what Trump posted, though. Okay. This would be a perfect time, in all caps, for Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to cut interest rates. He is always late. That's an absolute word, always. But he could now change his image, and quickly. What perception of imagery is Trump trying to put on Jerome Powell? Because when you look at the media, when you look at people overall, what is their perception of Jerome Powell? Are people looking at him negatively? Because from my viewpoint, from my vantage point, they're not looking at Jerome Powell in a negative sense. This man has scathed the economy of the United States from collapsing. But leave it to Trump. He wants to come out and say that he needs to change his image. What, to a negative one? Because currently, his image is not bad. Trump said in a post on Truth Social, quote, energy prices are down. Interest rates are down. Inflation is down. Even eggs are down 69% and jobs are up. All within 2 months. Isn't that crazy how this man is trying to take credit of being in office for 2 months and trying to take credit for energy prices being down, interest rates down, inflation is down, even the prices of goods are down, right? He's trying to take credit because he came into office over the last 2 months. Don't give credit to Biden. Don't give credit to any of the other presidents before him who has laid the foundation, the groundwork to get to the point to where energy prices are down, interest rates are down, inflation is down, supposedly. Okay, I'm saying supposedly because many people are feeling the pinch, especially since he came in the last 100 days and has increased tariffs, which inevitably would bring up goods, services, and would also bring up inflation and would pull down jobs. Now, that came from him within the first 100 days of him raising tariffs. I've already seen articles to where companies are laying off more people due to the fact that they have to plan for the future of how these increased tariffs is going to impact their business, their bottom line, all within 2 months. So we are seeing a reversal of what was led up to Trump coming into the office. But he's calling it a big win for America. Cut interest rates, Jerome, and stop playing politics. He wrote that out in all caps, like he's screaming at Jerome Powell. Is he okay? You let me know. Is Trump okay? Is he in his feelings? Why he's being so touchy? Jerome has a bigger issue, not just trying to play politics. This man is trying to keep the economy that everyone plays into every day from collapsing. But Trump just simply wants him to lower interest rates, cut interest rates. But in a couple of words before that, did he not just say interest rates are down? Like, how low does he want the interest rates to go? And I'm talking about Trump. Let's take a look at some of these comments that these people listed. Jerome's job is not to make Trump happy. Jerome is likely aghast at the structural damage Trump's administration is doing to the U.S. economy, but he's keeping his mouth out of politics. So someone thinks that Jerome ain't following and playing politics. Trump should be very grateful for that. If Jerome came out and told the truth, the whole truth and nothing but, there will be very little wiggle room for Fox and the administration talking heads. Jerome is doing a disservice to the U.S. public, sadly. Trump is the one who's playing politics. He wants to influence the Fed and cause it not to be independent. Trump's tariffs will cause prices and inflation to rise and slow the economy, which I do agree. You can already see it on some of the mainstream media of how people don't know what to do, especially when you have someone who is being lopsided on their stance to where one day, oh, we're going to drop 150,000% tariffs on China and across the world, even our allies, to the next day, oh, we're going to put this on a pause. How can businesses project and project their future revenue, their future numbers, when you have somebody at the helm of the ship steering it erratically? You can't do it. So rather than people trying to plan and predict for the future of their bottom line in their business, get what they're going to do. They're going to play the safe side. So they're not going to hire people. They're going to lay people off, and they're not going to order product and services because they don't want to be caught holding the bag. All because of what Trump is doing. So who's trying to play politics here? Is it Jerome or Trump? Because he's seeing how his tariffs didn't go the way that he planned it to go. He should have thought about it more strategically rather than completely broad brushing the tariffs across the whole world. Because now that even put less credibility on the United States and how they run the economy. So every other nation in America is looking at the United States side-eye right now, especially the allies. If you were an ally of the United States and your homeboy just came out and told you, look, bro, I'm gonna have to give you 25, 100% tariff on this mess. You'd be like, I thought we was cool. I thought we were, supposedly be boys. And you just gonna hit me with this? You'd be like, all right, cool. I know what it is. That's what these other nations, these other governments are looking at America right now. And it's not going to go well going into the future. That's why it's very important to ensure that you keep your word. Your word is your bond. Your actions dictate whether or not you're going to hold on to your word. And as we can see, within 100 days of this administration, that something ain't right. Somebody also commented, stagflation is pretty much inevitable now. Somebody commented, stop playing politics. Everything was running great until Trader Trump intentionally crashed the United States of America. Trump has been a failure his entire life. He's destroyed the USA his first term. The only accomplishments he ever had was inheriting $400+ million and conning every single Republican. Wall Street hates Biden and Kamala, even though every economist loves their policies. Trump has clearly demonstrated that he knows nothing about economics. What do you guys think? Does he know anything about the economy? Let me know. I mean, just keep it real. Look at the actions of what he's done so far. Does he look like he wants to keep the economy afloat, or does he look like he wants to tear it down? Because when you look at your 401k or your retirement accounts, or if you're dibbling and dabbling in the stock market, you see how severe that market move has gone once Trump instituted those tariffs, right? Does that look like that's something that somebody knows anything about the economy? Not at all. And the people that he has around him, have you seen some of the interviews that they've done on social media, on mainstream media? And they're both talking out of both sides of their mouth. They say one thing, then they go back and redact it or change it, or they're speaking on top of one another. It seems to me like it's this chaos going on right now within the administration and how they're going to try to handle this massive failure of Trump dropping tariffs on countries. I've even seen articles and videos of Trump putting tariffs on countries that have no human inhabitants. And then they're talking about some type of math formula that they generated and created to come up with how much they're going to increased tariffs for these countries, and a lot of economists was like, we never seen this formula ever. And this is what these economists do. This is their life. This is their bread and butter. And they're talking about, we've never seen this formula before. Where did they come up with this formula? We have people sitting in the driver's seat, steering the economy, blinded. Let's look at this next comment. Why the F would Powell cut rates when his sole job is looking at the value of the dollar? Jay Powell doesn't give a F about orange clown's feelings or what he wants. So apparently he has something against Trump. He or she, whoever it is. Next comment. Is Trump trying to guarantee crippling inflation? Me thinks Powell won't play ball. Do you guys think Powell is going to be persuaded to follow Trump? Because the world is very nervous. I ain't going to say the world. I'm going to say a lot of people on one side of the political spectrum is nervous to go against Trump because they value their position, their status, their reputation. So they're going to try to play quiet, and they're going to try to stay the sideline or play within the middle of the line and be quiet. When all of us, everyone who is affected by the economy, don't have anyone to stand up for us. So what's going to happen is people are going to realize that these politicians that are in these positions, if they're not going to speak for you, then the people who are on Main Street will, out of necessity, create their own authorities, will go in and create their own organization to where they can offset the uncertainty that the United States economy is creating. People like safety, comfortability, and stability. And when they don't have that, they will go out and search and try to find it for somewhere else. Trump needs to realize that. And if he doesn't rein in this economy as soon as possible, then guess what? You're going to begin to see more factions, people standing up against him, his administration, because they are being impacted. You're going to get people to get up off the couch and become more active in their everyday lives. At one point they were comfortable. They were going to their kids' sporting events, watching sports on television, being entertained, going to concerts. And now Trump has pulled that discretionary spending from their account. So now they're focused more on, okay, how can I protect me and my family? Because the government that we've placed in these positions of authority, they're not doing it for us. So that is what I see on the horizon coming forward if Trump doesn't rein in the mistakes that he's done with these tariffs. So people need to be careful because everyone is not going to fold when it comes to Trump. Even though he thinks that he has that ability to make people bend, and he's trying to act like he is some enforcement, some bully, understand that there's other bullies in the yard too. And if Trump goes and mess with that bully's going to stand back and hit Trump as well. You're seeing it right now with China. China is not bending. Trump bent because China kept going back and forth. As America was increasing tariffs on China, China came right back and shot another tariff at it. And at some point, America's going to be put on this imagery, this facade, as if they are the ones winning this war against China. But as I've always told you, pay attention to the actions, the results. That shows you who is actually winning. So who's the first one that bent between China and America? America did. What was one action that Trump did that shows you that that's true? Oh, he put a 90-day pause on tariffs. And then he also exempted semiconductors, computers, telephones from China. Why is Trump allowing exemptions now from China? Trump is ostracizing the United States. The United States is going to be seen on an island by itself. That is what we're getting in this current economic environment. So these other nations are creating back deals, back trade agreements to where they won't be impacted by America anymore. Like I said, when you come and hit somebody, you might got them shook the first time, but they're not going to let you come back and hit them again. So these other nations are out here right now, as I'm recording this video, creating trade agreements with other nations, especially China. So if you reside in America, you need to get prepared. You need to get prepared for reduced items on the shelves. You need to get prepared for the value of the dollar to decrease because no one will want the dollar anymore. You need to get prepared for the reputation of the United States to be not so good anymore. All right. So I'm just telling you that right now. But just something that I've just thought about, something I wanted us to discuss. So as I leave, you guys can go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe. And as always, trade different.